Hey everyone, so this is Black17 here, and today I'll be going over our, I guess you could say, BPL D2 Season 2 finals as we're up against TepigKami, or Tepig as he goes by. So, um, right off the bat, okay, first of all, I did do like separate team builder videos. Normally, I would just put the team builders together, but this time, since the length of the videos for the team builders were kind of long, I decided to split them up. Um, and like I'll just like have one team build. Like it's pretty much like sort of this is just to make it more simple. So I'll have a video explaining my thought process of going into the games and whatnot. And then there's the actual video itself of the battle. Alright, so, but for those of you who haven't like paid attention or didn't watch the video, this is a brief recap of my team. I have Metronome Zapdos with Heat Wave, Hit Power Ice for Landorus, Discharge. I have a Pressure just because there was a set that I was thinking of that he'd bring that I'll just go over that I was kind of worried about, so that's why I brought Pressure over Static. So I have Scarf Crocodile pretty much to outspeed everything, including Scarf Landorus and even Mimikyu, unless it's Scarfed. It has Rocks just to get up like Rocks against a Taunt Arrow. It has Foul Play just to take advantage of, boosts from like Landorus and Mimikyu. But of course it'll probably be at +1 still because Intimidate shit, so. Then I have two Wishers, Aloe and Jirachi. Jirachi sort of most will pivot with U-turn, Body Slam, Iron Head. And then Aloe has Waterfall, Toxic. Waterfall just more so has more power points, and also the fact that it hits Alakazam harder, so same with Arrow. So, and I have Blaziken with semi-mono attacking Flare Blitz set with Vacuum Wave just to take out Gran, and also Defog because I couldn't think of any other good option. And lastly, I have my Kirin B, which is like outspeeds Landorus, but does not speed like Mimikyu or Darm if they're max speed. But I do have enough HP investment in Spadef. More slow HP just to take hits from S-Toss Registeel. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much my team right now. So for what Tepig could have brought, he had right now he has Ash-Greninja, Mimikyu, Landorus, Arrow, Zam, Mega Zam in particular, and Registeel. Other mons that he had were I believe let me look. Arrow, no, well, yeah, he has Arrow. Seismitoad, Gudra. Those two were like the big threats that I thought he would bring, but he didn't. So that's good on our ends. And he has Manectric, Whimsicott, and Darm. I didn't think he would bring any of those three. But I think Gudra and Seismitoad were like the more likely of the two to bring. But he has his reasons or whatnot. So right off the bat, this is a very interesting matchup because honestly, I actually like it because if I get rid of Landorus, I could just pretty much start going to town with Blaziken. Of course, he has a lot of priority and maybe some Bulk and maybe some Octoberry stuff like Registeel, more particular. But I do have to watch out for the priority options, and I have to be careful of his setup. So yeah. So in terms of leads, I thought either Kyurem or Crocodile. And I really wanted to lead Kyurem, but the fact that there was an Aerodactyl implies to me that that thing might be Z-move or offensive in some fashion. They might want to, or maybe lead. So I decided, I'm just going to go for my Intimidator, go for Crocodile. And he goes to Landorus, and I go to Crocodile. And right now, like I wanted to like go for an offensive attack here, but at the same time, this is probably my only opportunity to get up rocks. But I have to be very careful, of course, because this can always be like set up Landor as per usual. Rock polish, or Swords Dance, Wolf Cup, whatever you have to say. So here I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go rocks since he's not gonna do as much damage at Earthquake. So he's gonna go for the rocks as he goes for Earthquake. So based off that damage, I'm thinking, okay, that's offensive Landorus. So I'm okay with this exchange because of course Landers could have he could have like the fact that he has done that much. He might implies that he might be like maybe an offensive set. Um, I'm very curious that he didn't go for U-turn, but maybe he wants to get chip damage on me. So fair play. Right now I'm like thinking, okay, so all right, so I got chip on Landorus, so and I'm already debating on like other possible switch-ins and whatnot. And right now, Kiram seems like the best option because obviously Jirachi, Alo don't want to be toxic. Like either don't want to take an earthquake or toxic, and obviously Blaziken is not something I want to switch into. And Zapdos, if he goes reveal Swords Dance, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be taking a Stone Edge or a Z Continental Crush. So with powered by Stone Edge, so yeah, um, so it made sense to me to go to Kiram directly and do exactly that. So I go to Mr. Love. By the way, that's get that in the red preference. You'll figure it out. So, and I go here and he goes for SD. So I kind of predicted this correctly. So, and right off the bat, I'm like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this rock polish Landorus because he revealed this early? I'm like, like at this point, I'm pretty much debating to myself what possible Landorus set this is because of course you're gonna have Earthquake, and of course you're gonna have like Stone Edge because or Rock Slide because Kiram and Zapdos kind of like well not wall but like kind of threaten Landorus in a sense. So you gotta need those too. So and the last option either is like either Superpower, no, well not Superpower. He doesn't even need it. He just needs Quake Edge really. So I'm thinking with those three, I'm like thinking either it's Rock Polish, probably U-turn or Rocks or something like that. So, and I kind of make a very aggressive play here because, here's the reason why I'm gonna go for the attack. The reason why I attack here is because if he goes for Rock Polish and his Focus Sash himself, because I've seen some Landorus some Focus Sash hits. If it's gonna not change, it's gonna be the same scenario. Only difference is that he's gonna be faster, and that just puts me in a very bad spot. So, I didn't want to put myself in a situation where he's already +2 Landorus immediately, and I have to reveal, Blaziken with with Vacuum Wave, and I don't know how much investment he has with his Landorus. So I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go. Like, it's burst in terms of Spadef, but given the amount of damage he did with Earthquake, I'm like, he might be just offensive, so yeah. So I also could go for sub to anticipate a switch out, but at the same time, I don't want to be too passive here, so here I just make the more obvious play and just go for the Ice Beam. He is indeed Focus Sash, and he lives on Wind, but he goes for Explosion and knocks me out here. And honestly, I'm okay with this for one reason, because Landorus was pretty much the biggest threat to almost half my team, and really, I didn't want to. I like Landorus alone just checks like in Blaziken offensively, so and also Zapdos and Jirachi, so the fact that that thing is gone is pretty huge for me. So now. Here I make a very, very costly play that just pretty much dictates the whole battle. What you're about to see. So, here I go and directed Jirachi because I felt that it could take on everything. I could go for U-turn, I could go Body Slam or Wish onto the Registeel, and it just occurred to me, like a lot of was thinking maybe this is possibly a cursed Registeel set. And I don't want to be taking boosted Earthquakes, or if this is possibly cursed Registeel, I have to kind of like, I don't want to take an Earthquake right now, or if this is also Thunder Wave, because that just makes Jirachi kind of useless in terms of its para-flinching possibilities. So here I make sort of the scout play and I just scout for the possible Earthquake, Thunder Wave, and I go directly to Zapdos. And he goes for Rocks, so it's whatever. And right off the bat, it's like, okay, he has to be like sort of a support Reggie. So, and he reveals the leftovers. So at least I know that this thing is Aqua Berry. So yeah. So the next couple plays, I honestly think about very different. I kind of think about it a little bit. I wanted to gauge damage and Registeel here as I try to go for Heat Wave, but I miss, and it just pretty much puts me in the back for the whole time, the rest of the battle, because now you just go for Toxic. And really, this just puts me in a very, very precarious situation because I could have like prevented this. I could have just swapped out the Jirachi, but at the same time, I thought he would just like, well then again, he can't switch out directly to any of his mods or mons. You know, Mimikyu needs to disguise Gran, Zapdos, LOL, and Aerodactyl. Doesn't want to get paralyzed, so I probably could have just went hard Jirachi here. I could have probably went hard Jirachi and then maybe start body slamming. And yeah, it probably would have been a waste in a sense. But then again, I didn't want to like play around with double switches and whatnot. So, but still, like I should have probably stayed in with Jirachi earlier or switched out because at the very least I would have been able to like get possible body slam onto something or U-turn if Mimikyu switches in because I am a ghost. I am a Cassid Berry, so that helps take any of those ghost hits. But now I'm pretty much stuck in with Zapdos, and at this point, I realize like unless like well Zam's gonna probably kill me because I'm gonna take rocks, unless like I switch back in and whatnot. And if Granite Specs or just offensive in general, yeah, that's gonna be Red and Arrow can have always Stone Edge, Rock Slide. So here I just kind of make a very awkward play and just try to gauge damage and Registeel, but at the same time I shouldn't have done this because I should have just went hard Jirachi back on, especially on the Toxic, but now I'm just weakened before, and at this point I'm like, yeah, Zapdos is kind of useless now, and I just wasted it right now because I can't switch out the Blaziken, defog because why the hell do I want to re-defog something that I want to get up right now? So, here I just go for Heat Wave and I miss again, and I'm just pretty frustrated about that because I could have gotten up a lot of chip onto, like maybe about, I'd say like about a third of its HP. Registeel, and that would have been helpful because at least I wouldn't have gotten this. This thing would have been weakened enough for Blaziken or Crocodile, but especially Blaziken, so that doesn't go for recoil or doesn't suffer that much recoil. So yeah, but now I'm pretty much done with Zapdos. So yeah, and I still think I'm in a favorable spot in the way, as long as I have my regen core, intact, or Jirachi Aloe. But here I decided to go for Wish, and anticipating a possible Greninja switch in. So like I go for a Wish because I wanted to like at the very least try to get like how do I say it, information out of this Greninja. I try to see whether this thing is specs or whatever. Just at least take some damage. And if it's not specs, then I could at least take the Dark Pulse pretty easily. So he's got to have Dark Pulse, so Ice Beam, Water Shuriken, and maybe a Water move or something like Odd Spikes and whatnot. So here I just go for the Wish, and honestly, he goes for the Dark Pulse, and I get flinched there, and I'm just pretty annoyed at this point how this game is just pretty much going south. Now, this is like me covering this game. This is me covering this game like several days after this happened. So, I was pretty livid when this happened. When I watched this unfold, I was like, yeah, like the fact that I lost Zapdos for no reason, and now Jirachi is kind of like done. It's pretty annoying. So yeah, he just pretty much got free damage where I almost went. Well, I went for body slam there. Yeah, I would have done like maybe like 30% to this thing. So he would probably be around like around 58. but at the very least I would be able to pressure it back. And he's now in range of vacuum wave on Blaziken, so now I always force that 50-50 all the time. So but now that's not a guarantee. But if he was paralyzed, if I did get the body slam paralysis there, that just puts him in a very, very tight spot because now he has to kind of clinch this game with Mimikyu, Zam, and Arrow. So, of course, if Arrow could be like, offensive in some fashion. So yeah. But here I just go to Alamola, just try to take this. Obviously, this hit, and He goes for the Dark Pulse, and he gets the crit, and that right there just pretty much means that I lost the game. And I know that Tepig could probably choke, but let's be honest, like players in finals don't usually do that. So, but yeah, that was just pretty unfortunate. Like when I saw this happen, I was pretty annoyed again. And of course, I could have played around it. I could have swapped back into like Jirachi with Aloe, but at the same time, I didn't want to like switch Aloe in because then it'd be like a weird rinse and repeat cycle with Registeel and Registeel, Jirachi, and Aloe. But at that point, the game comes like what I probably should have been doing was probably going for the Body Slam Paris just right off the bat. And if he goes Mimikyu, I just go for U-turn, break to the skies, and I go into Crook or Blaziken. If depending or Owl depending on what he does. Like if he sets up, then I go to Crocodile, take advantage with foul play. And if he goes to like just attacks me in general, then I just go to Aloe, just toxic it. But yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that like I just get flinched right there, and then also get like crit right there, almost the same turn or sequence of concerns, and I'm just like, yeah. And honestly, it's unfortunate that how the rest of this battle has gone. Pretty like, So, here I go for the protect, try to get like some leftovers recovery, get regen back, and now I make a very sort of risky play, and it might sound well not risky, but sort of a calculated move. And what I do here is that I just go to Crocodile because I check the calc. I am around, I believe, I think right now it's 49, but with rocks up, we have 43. So I check the calc, and it looks like it's Modest Gran Specs. And the thing is, if Ash-Greninja doesn't get a high roll, like literally the highest roll possible, I can at least block the Ash-Gren transformation. And at the very least, I could block Ash-Gren, and I could stop that. And that just puts me, and he won't get the immediate special attack, boost, the 50 plus special attack raise that he gets, and also speed raise, At least I could work with that. So, and I could go for a knockoff. Yes, I would probably lose my own Crocodile if he attacks again, or if he switches into Mimikyu or something like that with Shadow Snake. But at the very least, something is losing its item or getting chipped down. So that's the risk I took here. So here I go to Crocodile, of course, get the Intimidate, which is useless, and he goes for the Dark Pulse, and I die. And I'm like, at this point, I remember during this part of the battle, I was pretty pissed off right here. So, like, I know I'm kind of mellow about it now, but yeah, I was kind of livid here. And just that part of the game that just happens, and I'm like, yep, I don't know what just happened. So everything that I'm trying to do is going really badly, and I'm like, well, this is bad. Like except for the Landorus Kyurem trade, I think that one I believe it came out slightly favorable, but you can't anticipate getting flinched, crit, and like a 6% damage roll at the same time in like 3 to 4 turns, which is like, yeah. So at this point, I just make a hard prediction, and I'm like, yeah, I know you're gonna go to either one of your Pokemon, and I'm like, I just go for a hard prediction and just go for Flare Blitz. And at this point I was like, you know what, I gotta get back into this game. I gotta make predictions now. But of course, like he has Mimikyu with disguise, so it's pretty much set in stone. Like unless I burn crit this thing. But the thing is, like now he has like enough resources to win the game with Water Shuriken Mimikyu or Water Shuriken Grand, Shadow Sneaking Mimikyu, whatever you say. So here I go to Aloe, try to take the hit, and he goes for the Sword Stance, and of course he could have just Sword Stance up so many times here, but he just goes for the Protect, and I'm here. I'm trying to like gauge the damage, and this is actually a Jolly Life Orb Mimikyu, and I honestly should have went for Waterfall here. I don't know why I stayed in like that, but maybe I wanted to get like the way my reasoning was like, okay, the only way I win now is if I just try my best to keep everyone alive. Try to stall out the Mimikyu as best I can, and then at some point keep Aloe alive to where maybe I could get a Hail Mary wish onto Blaziken, and then if I could somehow get chip damage on Arrow, then I just Flare Blitz everything to death. But of course, Gran isn't chipped down, so enough for like Vacuum Wave. Like I have at this point, I'm like hoping for crits and like mess ups here and there. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, there's no way. Like unless Mega Choke on his end. So yeah, so it's over at this point. So basically, unless all that stuff happens. So yeah, I'll just talk over the game right now. So this season has been pretty interesting if you ask me. Like overall, we had a positive record. I know we took over a 3-2 team that had a very strong team, like one of the stronger teams in this league or in this division, and I think the reason why I did it was because I think around the time in the when I lost like DGBA finals, uh, I kind of wanted to like take a break from Pokemon because I was just kind of done with like. At the time, I thought I lost because of a bunch of RNG, 50-50s. But then again, like it just came down to calculated risks here and there. And thinking about that game, I could have played that one better because at the very least, I could have gotten that game I was kind of upset because of if I got one of those conditions, at least one of those conditions, I probably won the game right then and there. But of course I didn't. So, and not only that, I got a high damage roll, and that one just sealed up the game. I don't know what that Shaman said, but yeah. But this game was just pretty. I mean, this is pretty much exactly Murphy's Law. Is actually what my friend Abrupt tells me. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So, um, this game was just pretty. I wouldn't say it was a bad game if you ask me. Like it was still like interesting. Like the first part of the battle, I enjoyed the first part of the battle. I guess you could say. This the other part was just like where it's like, yep, like it just kind of doesn't showcase what our season was pretty much. Yeah, people will say, "Oh, you stalled out a lot of people and whatnot. You didn't play exactly how you should have and whatnot." But I think I still played well enough in some aspects here and there. I guess you could say I was a bit too passive. That was pretty much the only thing and aggressive when I had to be passive in some fashion. So, for this game, I guess you could say the only other thing I could have done, or like maybe two, was one stay in with Jirachi, and also try and predict the explosion and go for sub on with Kirim. But even then, I don't think the sub Kirim play would have happened. I don't think I would have made that play at all. I was too concerned with that thing setting up with a rock polish, and it would still put me in a situation where I still died to an earthquake, Stone Edge. And if he misses Stone Edge, well, then that would have been luck against him. So yeah, or if he gets frozen with Ice Beam. So, yeah, and then not only that, like at that point of the game, early, I think I probably had to stay in with Jirachi and just start going for body slams. And if he had switched into, let's say, Gren or Zam or even Arrow on a body slam, that would have been huge because remember, it's a 60% chance to paralyze. And I would have just, and if I get, not only do I get chip damage on these guys because they're pretty frail, and if I get the paralysis, they're pretty much done. So yeah, like it didn't really like. I guess you could say the game plan didn't work as well as I hoped. I probably should have stuck with Jirachi, but even then, I thought all that stuff that happened was just counterintuitive. Yes, I think losing Zapdos is probably the only. The Zapdos turn was probably the only other misplays I've made. And I think I still stand with staying in with Jirachi against Gran because I still needed to get chip damage and paralysis. Because if I got a paralysis on Gran, or at the very, if I know it's wishful thinking, but if I got a paralysis on Gran, I would have possibly just removed a huge threat out of the way, and Gran wouldn't have done all that stuff, with getting all that chip damage against my entire team like that. So I would have been able to like pretty much navigate with like Jirachi and Aloe against the rest of his team. Yes, he might have some other tech options, but at least I don't lose Crocodile. I don't lose Blaziken's a lot of HP. It might be Zam versus Blaziken or Crooked at the end of the day, but I still think I had enough resources to kind of like it would have been an interesting game. And that's without Zapdos. With Zapdos, if assuming I played it perfect, or exactly how I, like, thinking back, I probably would have had enough stuff to probably win the game, unless all that stuff RNG had. I'm still not discrediting Tepig. I think he had good prep, and played like very aggressively, but especially with the Kirim against Landorus. And honestly, that pretty much probably, I guess you could say that those early turns probably helped him win out the game, rest of the game, because that just put me in a situation where Gran just kills the rest of my team. But still, like all that RNG and all that stuff just was pretty unfortunate. Um, and it's just like it goes to show you that sometimes like even your best prep or your best planning or your battle insight can just backfire really really badly. I know that we had a game where Bucks managed to get like a, how do I say it, um like managed to get like a, let's say, like a fit speed tie, pretty much similar to what happened in the other finals I had against Blaziken with Kangaskhan. And also he got, I played a bunch of 50-50 turns there, if you ask me, but like outright um this was just outright like getting just stomped on by combination of aggressive plays, being passive, and RNG. When that happens, it's just like you get this kind of result. So I still don't think I played terribly. I still think I could have played it out well. It's just that all that stuff that occurred was just, I probably could have swapped to Aloe, but then again, I don't want to be in a situation where Aloe Mola was just gonna be like pressured out the whole damn time. It was already gonna be like that, but I didn't want Aloe to get toxic at all by any of his mons. And then Grand, if it was like, let's say, spike hazarding, that would have been a huge threat. So yeah. Um. So overall, overall take of this game is I still stand by some of the plays. It's just that it just came out. It just came down like that. So yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at my opponent. He made the best possible plays and he played better than me in some aspect. It's just that what happened was just like it was just completely one-sided after all that stuff occurred. So yeah. Anyways, so GG's to Tepig, and here's your, I think, season 2 D2 champion. So, and I think he's gonna be promoted up. So I'm still not so sure if we're gonna be promoted, even though, based off the old rules, it looks like I would be, but there might be a new system involved. I'm not so sure. I'm still gonna stay in for another season, see what's going on with this league. Maybe try to get another title run, if you ask me. I think we played very well throughout this whole season. I think it just, there's only like we only lost 2 times. One was basically because of the fact that I didn't break toxic, and the fact that I got crit in with like a CM Jirachi, which is like, ugh, really? like I was at +2 Jirachi, and I was just like, great. So and then and also if I had toxic, I probably like won the game regardless, but I didn't. So because I over prepped for a lot of stuff. Uh, and I was actually kind of hoping that I didn't battle that guy in like round one. Turns out it was that helped me out. So and then round and then for like I think the only other time I got really RNG'd was was against Pucks, but I think that one was just a combination of just the fact that he didn't have anything for Jirachi, for the Jirachi set I had, and a little bit of luck on our side. So, but this finals was just well, tough luck, you know. So at least we made it to finals, I guess. So, um, so yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'll be like closing out in a bit. So, so one last update is that we will be doing PFA playoffs in a bit. So I'm gonna probably like upload those as soon as they come out. Like as soon as I'm done with the games, like however far I go is pretty much how long is it gonna take. So if I just reveal playoffs early, round one early for playoffs, then I probably didn't make it that far. So, but if you don't see me going that far, if you don't see me uploading that much, or if I don't care, then likely I made it far into the thing. So yeah. So I still have PFAs and see how if I could make another title run there for the fifth time. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and pretty much I'll still be doing some Pokemon uploads here and there. I still have to figure out my schedule and all. So, even though mine's somewhat lenient now, I might get a little bit more work temps in a few days. So I just need to figure out like the timing and whatnot. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave like, comment, and whatever. Do whatever you want. Comment, say some stuff. So I'll see you guys next time.